So guys, what it do? Your boy Exodius here bringing you guys another video. Last video, we changed the handguard, everything else. We have a grip, we added a grip, it came the other day. I was going to record it, but I didn't get a chance. And a new sling. It was just something simple, you just snap it on right about here. This, you just slide under the rail that we put on. Which actually, we lost that rail when I went shooting the first time. So we had a new one. But I want to cover all these with rails and then put a laser and that type of stuff on it to make it more home defense friendly. But that's once we get it functioning how we would like it to function. So one of the issues I have been having with this new gas block, which I thought might be an issue after reading about it, is it seems to be that powder and carbon and things are leaking from it. Either that or I didn't get it lined up perfectly how it should be. As I told you guys, I had a tough time trying to get it lined up. I was afraid I wouldn't get it. It's hard to tell when it is lined up and when it's not, and yada yada. So it's not cycling how it should. I was having it where it would shoot 4, maybe 5 rounds, and it would jam on a round and it would get caught inside. It was a pain in the butt to get taken out. And then yesterday, actually, I took it shooting again with my magazine because I thought that it was just jamming because of I used my fiance's parents' magazine, which was a plastic P-mag. And some people said their guns didn't like them very much. It wouldn't cycle very well with it. So I thought maybe it was just that. But then yesterday I take my metal mag that works every other time, just one of these plain metal mags. And it actually was jamming after every single shot. Not jamming, but I feel like enough gas wasn't going to push the hammer back to load another bullet into the chamber. And I believe it's a lot to do with the gas block either not being lined up or whatnot. So I figured the best way to get it lined up, the way it should be, is to put the original back on. Now to put the original back on, this obviously is not going to fit under here without some modification, as you can see. So what we are going to do today, guys, is sand this down. We're going to cut this top sight portion off, being careful enough not to get into the tubing or anything else. We're going to cut these off near the bottom. We're going to cut this off for the bipod or the bayonet or whatever. And we'll be left with something similar to the gas block that's on there right now. And we'll sand it down, smooth it out, make it look a little bit professional. And then we'll paint it with heat paint. It's engine paint, so it's good up to like 5,000 or 500 degrees. And I don't think the gun's going to get 500 degrees one way or another. And that'll prevent this from rusting with all the shaved down metal and the steel that's open, if that makes sense, so it doesn't oxidize and all that stuff. So today that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using the angle grinder to sand it and hopefully like a hacksaw, or I may have just mixed that up. We're going to be using an angle grinder to cut it, or a hacksaw, whatever seems to work best. Then we're going to use my grandfather's grinder over there to sand it down and smooth it out. Just make it look a little bit more professional, and then we're going to paint it. So those will be the different steps. Then we'll have to take the handguard off here, take the old gas block off, punch the pin out, put the new gas tube into the slot, put the new pin in, and then just slide it back up. I'm hoping it's that simple, and there's not too much more. So let's get started. I almost messed this up because I forgot to put my SD card back in my camera. But I remember I always keep one extra SD card in my bag at all times. Luckily, it's not a 64 gigabyte like the one I normally use, but it's a 8 gigabyte, so it should be fine. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so we need to take these out right here, these right here, and then these right here to get this handguard off, and that'll loosen it up quite a bit. So how well you guys can see, but there's carbon deposits all around here and around there. So it really leads me to believe that there's an issue there, either that or it's not lined up how it should be, which worries me a little. And I mean, I don't see anything else that could be the issue, because that's the only thing dealing with the firing mechanism that has changed. At least from what I can see. So we need to get this off of here and then go from there, I guess. Guys, so far we have, as you can see, we have the gas block completely sanded down. I actually had to go back a little after what I had shown you guys. Crap, it's not focusing very well. But here, let's see. So as you can see, we had to sand the top down a little and make it a little bit more narrow so it would fit through the handguard like we needed it to. We have one coat of paint on it. I wasn't really worried about the paint because it's under the handguard, and I personally don't care how it looks, but I want to make sure that it didn't rust from all the new sanded spots. I have to put another coat or two on it. I'm using engine paint, which is just something we had sitting around. I know people use like the instant bluing, but whatever works for you. Regular paint might even work. I'm not sure how the heat would react with it. So I didn't want to just use regular paint, because I know after shooting for a while the gun does get a bit heated, and with the gas going through it, that's going to be one of the hottest spots on the weapon. So I just want to use heat paint. It's good up to 500 degrees. I don't think my gun's getting any hotter than 500 degrees, because then the plastic would be melting and everything else. So we're going to finish painting this, and then we should just be able to put the new pin in, put the new gas tube through it, and put it back on the rifle. But we'll see how it goes. Hello guys, your boy Exodius here. I didn't get to finish the video once again because my battery died, but we got everything back on. We had to hammer it a little, it was a little rough, but one thing I didn't, a few things I want to touch up and brush up on within the process of painting and doing things to the gas block is to cover the holes. I believe from what I read, everything's precisely made, the holes a precise size to make sure that the gas flows the way it should and the right amount of gas should flow and it lines up perfectly with the holes and everything on your barrel. So personally, I covered up every hole. I didn't specify that before, but I covered up all the holes dealing with where the gas tube went into the gas block and where the pin went through and where the pins went through on the bottom. I should have covered the huge holes where it fits along the barrel, but I didn't bother. I just sanded those out afterwards to get the little bit of paint before it dried completely out of it. But that's about it. I just wanted to put a coat of paint over it to protect it from rusting, from moisture and things in the air. But as you can see, it went back on perfectly. I didn't show exactly every single step with putting the handguard on and taking the old gas block and things off because you guys saw that in the last video. The new one, I just had to get it on quite a bit, and I used a mallet to tap it back into place, and I wiggled it around until I could get the pins to go through, and I just put the handguard back on. I tried not to repeat too many steps I already did in the last video, so that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, be sure to subscribe. More things coming with guns, more vlogs, more everything coming soon, and I hope to see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.